The paradox of knowledge. Why has information increased but understanding decreased? We live in the age of information. Never before has humanity had such easy access to knowledge. Any question can be answered through a search engine. Any topic can be explored with minutes, and global events become known almost instantly. At the same time, a paradox appears. Despite the enormous amount of information available, people seem to struggle more and more with forming a deep understanding of the world around them. At first glance, it seemed logical that more knowledge should lead to great understanding. However, human thinking works differently. Every day, modern people are exposed to an overwhelming flow of information: news, social media, message, videos, advertisement, and articles. All of these compete for our attention, but attention is limited resources. When information becomes excessive, the brain stops processing it deeply and shifts towards superficial thinking. In psychology, this is connected to the phenomenon of cognitive overload. Cognitive load theory explains that when working memory becomes overloaded, people find it harder to build logical connection, retain complex ideas, and critically analyze information. As a result, people stop studying information deeply and begin merely scanning it. The differences between knowledge and understanding is clearly demonstrated by a psychological experiment known as illusion of explanatory depth. Participants were asked to explain how ordinary objects work: a bicycle, a zipper, or a lock. Most people were initially confident that they understood the mechanism. However, when they attempted to explain them step by step, their confidence dropped dramatically. The experiment revealed that people often mistake familiarity for understanding. Modern information increasingly exists in fragments: short videos, headlines, quotes, posts, and facts taken out of context. Because of this, knowledge becomes superficial. People may know isolated pieces of information without understanding the connection between them. And it's precisely this connection that creates understanding. Knowledge answers the questions what? Understanding answers the question why. This problem is connected not only to the quantity of information, but also to the speed at which it is consumed. Modern people constantly switch between tasks, notifications, and sources of content. This brain adapts to rapid consumption, but gradually loses the ability to focus deeply on a single idea for a long period of time. As a result, it becomes increasingly difficult to analyze complex subjects that require patience and reflection. There is also another paradox: the paradox of intelligence. People often assume that high intelligence protects individuals from mistakes. However, research in cognitive psychology shows that intelligent people are also vulnerable to bias, emotional reasoning, and also false belief. In some cases, intelligence can even help people defend their mistakes more effectively because they are able to construct stronger arguments in support of their own opinions.
Intelligence isn't about how much you know, but how fast you can figure out what you don't know. And that's actually really good news. It means intelligence isn't something you're born with, it's something you can train. It's something you build like a muscle, like a skill. Most people are out here collecting information, reading, scrolling, watching, and they think that's the same as being intelligent. It's not. And the difference between someone who is just informed and someone who is actually intelligent is what they do with what they know.
Yuval Noah Harari wrote, "Information is not truth." This idea is especially important today. The amount of information alone does not make a person wiser or more understanding. Information becomes valuable only when people are capable of analyzing it, comparing it, and questioning it. There is another interesting effect. The easier it becomes to access information, the less likely people are to memorize or deeply process it. When answers are always available on a phone, people develop the illusion of constant knowledge. But access to information is not the same as understanding it. Today, humanity's problem is not a lack of knowledge, but a lack of reflection. We receive an endless number of answers, yet ask fewer and fewer questions. We quickly consume new information, but rarely spend enough time thinking about its meaning. The paradox of knowledge lies in the fact that humanity know more than ever before, yet the amount of information has begun to exceed our ability to understand it deeply. Knowledge has become instant. Understanding still requires time, attention, and reflection. And perhaps the central questions of 21st century is not how can we know more, but rather how can we truly understand what we already know.